Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 7 of season 4 of our F1 Championship Edition career mode. Yes, we return this weekend here for the duel in the Formula 1 crown. We're back for the Monaco Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live at the end of last week from Barcelona, I would highly recommend going back and check it out. It's safe to say our return to this game, we seem to still have some of the minimal speed I had inside this game, but it was a tough return, and we've got another tough track coming up this weekend, of course, back here in Monte Carlo. Of course, I mentioned in that video as well that we'd had talks with Renault. They took one look at my performance last time out and said, yeah, we're not interested at the moment. So we desperately need to win a few more Grand Prix. We desperately need to try and get ourselves, I kind of think now, into one of those top 4 teams. Most likely that would probably be BAR or McLaren, but we'll wait and see what happens. But of course, yeah, this is actually the first ever Monaco Grand Prix I'm going to do on this game on the new steering wheel, so I'm hoping that's a good omen. I'm hoping maybe we can see the checkered flag this weekend. Of course, a massive thank you to everybody for their continued support on the channel. Please do make sure to leave a like, get yourselves subscribed as well. Taking a look at the World Championship, Schumacher still absolutely dominating out front. 13 points clear of Felipe Massa, with Alonso now ahead of Giancarlo Fisichella. Raikkonen, Barrichello, Button, Button and myself there. We're still best of the rest, but I want to, be competing with those Hondas and the McLarens as well, if we possibly can. Ralf Schumacher still with a solitary point on the board this year as well. Means for now we are still, I believe, P5 in the constructors standings. You can see there, yeah, 4 points ahead of BMW Sauber as well. So we've got our work cut out over the next few Grand Prix. But let's just see if, first and foremost, we can finish the Monaco Grand Prix. Well, I edited up that first video from Barcelona, and, well, hopefully you guys felt that the audio was decent enough on these videos as well. Then there's not really a lot else I could do about it. But easy, a much bigger problem than that is probably the shaky camera. Sadly, where my monitors now aren't wall mounted, I've got to have them on my desk. Shaky camera is going to be here to stay for this series, so I apologise for that in advance. But I think, if we're trying to go for a big save or something like that, it looks quite funny. So I'm just got to try and get through the hairpin lap 1. Luckily, unlike most circuits on this game, Monaco, obviously a bit like what you used to get in Formula 1, the steering rack is actually slightly different. Now, you can't kind of alter it inside this game. It's just kind of on a bit more here. But weirdly, it's actually more accurate to what your real steering wheel is doing. So I actually kind of prefer it. I wish we had this steering rack everywhere on this game. Got to be careful of that wall, apparently. I got no idea why there's a gap in the fence there, but I try and see some track width, so I'm always going to take it. And that's a wheel immediately gone. That took me a lap and a half.
Welcome to Monte Carlo for Saturday's 1-hour qualifying session. We're about to get underway, and with the tight streets and twisting nature of this circuit, it's likely to be an extremely busy 15 minutes.
Well, after many laps then of practice, I feel like we're ready then to try and take on qualifying. Of course, Saturday is not normally the big issue around this circuit. It's just like trying to survive the race come Sunday here. So, I mean, we've got the pace to definitely make it into Q3, and I think we should hopefully make it into Q3, unless we have an absolute catastrophe. One of the good things, of course, about this circuit in this game is, where it's Monaco, where it's the shortest track on the F1 calendar, it does give you a lot of opportunities to try and get laps in. It's through this final sector of the lap that we can just be a lot, hopefully, nope. I literally was going to say, well, we can hopefully be a lot more precise, and immediately that's not happened. What's the Minardi doing? Let me move out of the way, man. Oh, someone's been in the pit lane. One of the BARs there. I mean, there was a wheel. Is he going to try and keep going without a wheel? Surely not. There you go. Back into the pit lane then. So, Monaco on this game is so broken that not even the AI can do it. Well, currently then, Scott Speed is the benchmark. The time we just need to beat to make sure we make our way into Q2. Hoping we can go a bit quicker than that. No, we can't. Oh, don't lose the back end. Oh, that's annoying. Ruined that lap. It was actually going pretty well up to that point as Massa obliterates Montoya's fastest time there, and we're almost into the 112s already. A little bit shaky through the final couple of corners, trying to get set up for another run. But this first lap then is going to be a 1:14.3. Obviously won't count for anything, but showcases that we've got pace. Well, like I said, Q1, the only reason we're kind of doing this is just to obviously make it into Q2. We should never really be going out in Q1 inside this series, as this lap has probably felt a little bit tidier, a little bit more hooked up, and that's going to be a 13.9. We go to P5. I'll take it. Well, there we go then. We do safely make it through and into Q2. They're up in 7th place in the end. So, Jacques Villeneuve out in Q1. Scott Speed, no, he doesn't make it through. It was Yuji Ide that made it into Q2. What a Japanese baller. Knocking Jacques Villeneuve out in that first session. This is Monaco. Surprises are bound to happen. Imagine if Ide made it into Q3 and I didn't. Well, for some reason, between practice and qualifying, we'd actually been brought back down to a pretty default setup here at Monaco. So I've got all the aero whacked back on and shortened up the gears slightly. So hopefully we're going to be able to go a bit quicker out in Q2. I reckon if I got it perfect around here, a 1:12 is doable. Not expecting to get a 1:12, as already there's a tea party going on in front of me. What are you two doing? I believe that's Ide. Oh, trying to go for a run, and one of the McLarens blocking him. Luckily, we get around the pair of them. Oh, we got oil down. We got oil down somewhere around the circuit. Just got to keep committing, though. I mean, it's Monaco. You're probably not even going to be able to see it. The amount of shadows around this circuit. Is there any oil anywhere? I'm sure it's one moment I'm just about to slide around. I think there it was. Might just hit it there. But we live to tell the tale. Out of the final corner then. This is going to be my first run. Not a great time, but hopefully a good benchmark to chase. I think it's like a mid-14. But at least we go top of the board. Mainly because I'm the only one on the board. Well, so far then, the times in Q2 are actually slower than what we saw in Q1. Just, you know, whether your top drivers are struggling to get a lap hooked up or what's going on. But, yeah, very, very close down the bottom of the top 10. It's Jensen Button now into that drop zone. I mean, surely we can set a time close to what Michael Schumacher's done. Well, I don't want to speak too soon for Felipe, but he seems to be the driver to beat this weekend. Again, goes faster. 1:13.4 then, but yeah, it's just these final few corners through the swimming pool. Obviously, not really much of a problem in a modern Formula 1 car because they've got so much grip. But this thing, very, very light, kind of obviously just floats around a little bit. Good Sector 1 split, good Sector 2 split. Hopefully this is going to bring us down into the 1:13s and into Q3. 1:12.6! Okay, that obliterates everything I thought was possible. Surely now we're in the fight for pole. There we go then, Ralf Schumacher, 1.3 seconds off the pace of his teammate. I don't want to start believing too early here, but maybe, just maybe, if we could get it on pole position, I would just park the bus throughout the entirety of the Grand Prix there. But a 1:12.6... that, like I said, that lap blows every expectation I had out of the water. Well, my theory is nice and simple then, as we head back out into the circuit into Q3. I've gone for ever so slightly over half a race tank's worth of fuel, just to try and open up the strategy for us come Sunday afternoon. I just want to get one lap hooked up, one lap nailed here, that will hopefully put us at the top of the board. I mean, when we've got 0.8 of a second in the pocket over the AI, we don't even need to get the perfect lap in Q3. I just need to get a good lap in Q3. Come on then, let's really try and get a lap nailed. I want to get a good time on the board nice and early, and then see if it's a time we need to chase, or if we can just head back to the pit lane. Really a few tricky corners to get hooked up around here. I mean, it's just getting the car spotted in the right places, as that is near enough a second off what I can do in Sector 1. But I think we all know where I went wrong there. To be fair, the rest of this lap, up until that moment, had actually been alright. Had actually been setting us up for a good benchmark. Oh, to try and chase! How on earth have we survived that? I've got no idea how we walked away from that accident and kept all four wheels on the wagon. But I'm not going to complain. Oh, we haven't a T1 though. That's annoying. Another one's been in the pit lane. Is that the BAR again? I think it might be. That is hilarious. So, whether it's just BAR at a rather unlucky spot, he's done a Back to the Future. You see that? The tyre marks left on the road, the disappearance, that is incredible. I think that surely breaches some regulation from the FIA, but there you go, one of the Honda cars there. Back to the Future for them. It's actually really, really difficult to try and get temperature into the front tyres because you just do not work them hard enough around this circuit. But Michael Schumacher top of the board on a 1:14.1. Will his Brazilian teammate be able to match him this session? He's been quicker in Q1 and Q2. Can we go back to the top of the pile here in Q3? It's exactly where I want to end up, and anything less than that, I think I'm going to view as a bit of a failure there. Nice and tidy through the top of the circuit, and you can immediately see 7/10 up on that split one time. There's more to find, though, around the rest of the lap as we try and get the car hooked up around the hairpin. Oh, right up against the wall through the inside of lower Mirabeau. But, you know, if you're not getting close to those walls, you're not really pushing to the limit around this Monaco Grand Prix circuit. I've got a really short 7th gear in the car as we only use it down in towards the Nouvelle chicane there. Really attack the curbs through the first part, slap the wall apparently on the exit, and then down in towards the back there. Leave it in 5th gear through the swim Porsche chicane. 6th gear, make sure you get the wheel up over the inside curve through the second part. Again, just nudging the wall as we are green through sector 2 though. I can't imagine by very much. One more corner to go though, out of Anthony Nogues. Will it be pole position here for Panasonic Toyota? On the run back to the line, Massa improved. We will go 1/10 of a second quicker, and that is us up into provisional P1. Not by enough though. I'm going to go for another one. Oh no, there you go. Lap's over, and we got a puncture as well. That's qualifying done then. Is it going to be good enough for pole position? Will the Ferraris go any quicker? I'm honestly scared to head back to the pits. Well, there we are then. It is going to be a red car on pole position, but it's not the one I'm sure all of you were expecting. We will claim P1 here for the Monaco Grand Prix ahead of Felipe Massa and Michael Schumacher. Renault have had an absolute disaster down in P8 and P9, but what we need to do, hold the lead in turn 1 and then park the bus for 24 laps.
Here we are then in Monte Carlo for what we hope will be another action-packed Monaco Grand Prix. The Monaco Grand Prix is the most famous and glamorous race on the Formula One calendar. The small principality first hosted a Grand Prix way back in 1929, before the official World Championship began. Formula One cars have now outgrown the tight confines of the Monaco streets, but it's still an amazing sight to see the best drivers in the world weaving their way between the barriers. A good grid position here is vital, as the tight street circuit makes overtaking very difficult indeed. The weather is very wet here, but the forecast indicates that conditions may improve as the race goes on. You have pole. Second on the grid is Felipe Massa. Third is Michael Schumacher. Fourth is Rubens Barrichello. Montoya takes 5th. Kimi Raikkonen is next to him in 6th. Button is 7th. 8th is Fisichella.
I mean, it would only ever be F1 Championship Edition, wouldn't it? If ever there is a way for this game to screw me, it will take the opportunity.
Tyre through on the parade lap. If anything, you'll want to keep them cool.
Why has it got to rain around this circuit on today of all days? It could apparently dry up though, according to Martin Brundle. Also made me laugh on the grid rundown, the fact that he was saying that 20 years ago the cars had got too big for this circuit. And I think they've been saying that for about 20 years. What would they make of these modern Formula 1 cars?
Whilst you wait for the rest of the grid to assemble.
Oh man, I guarantee you those Ferraris, especially Schumacher, will have like 18 laps of fuel. That way, if they can no-stop, then they will.
No pressure, but make sure you hold your position into that first corner, and hopefully you can get a few last laps under your belt.
Team want us to win this one, and well, I'll be honest, I think our career really does rely on us winning as well. It's just cooking the engine ever so slightly there, but we are ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. Real question we've got, of course, is will the AI's autopilot spin me out through these final couple of corners? Yes, it will, of course. I love that every single time.
We go.
Trying to manage the wheel spin off the launch. Oh!
As does Barrichello.
Well, I believe that was Massa then still trying to look down my outside at turn 1, but we have just about hung on to it after a rather aggressive defence. Problem is I've got no temperature in the tyres.
Next is Massa. Next is Michael Schumacher.
Well, Felipe wants this lead off the start of the Grand Prix there. He's still side by side with us.
Well, that incident was bad enough to warrant his retirement today. Ralf Schumacher was the other driver involved in that altercation. That incident left one of his tyres with a knock, his right rear tyre.
I think, there we go, we've got lost at least 2 cars then at the start of the Grand Prix, but somehow we have still held on to the lead at the front of the order. Like I said, the rain doesn't look to be that bad at the moment, but all I can do in these early laps is try and make this Toyota as wide as we can, and just don't give Felipe an opportunity to even have a look. Oh no, it's Schumacher now up at a 2nd place, so we've got to be even more careful. I've had a lot of beef with Michael Schumacher inside this game. Let's just try and put that behind us today, buddy. Let's be friends. So you can already see how strung out the cars at the rear of the pack are, thanks to that pile-up. But of course, no safety cars on this game. Out of the final corner, though, we have led a lap here of the Monaco Grand Prix. How many more can we lead? I'm hoping 23 more today, but I'm not holding my breath. There's Schumacher immediately there, reminding me that he will go for it. Having a look down the inside of turn 1, but we hang on.
With the first lap completed, the field looks like this. You now lead the race. Michael Schumacher is in 2nd. Massa is 3rd. 1 place down from his grid position. Barrichello 4th. Montoya 5th. Jenson Button in 6th. He's up from 7th. In 7th is Raikkonen. He's down from 6th. In 8th place, Alonso.
No. Michael! Come on, man! Oh, no, we've lost the lead. I just ran a little bit wide in towards the chicane there. Tried to gather it up without picking up a slowdown. And Schumacher has punished me for it. Ugh!
There's been an incident at turn 12. It's Schumacher! It looks like he's got away scot-free. That incident hasn't ended his race, but he'll have to work hard if he wants some points. He got involved in that scrape as well. He seems to have got away with no damage, though. Very lucky indeed.
Oh, I hate this game. Why do I continue to play this game, man? What was I doing? The move was never on, but I mean, we hit him with the front wing. How do I lose the wheel in that scenario? Oh, I just hate this game, honestly. Why on earth did I come back to this? We've got to get some good results. Otherwise, Toyota are just going to sack me.
Raikkonen 6th, Alonso 7th, and Fisichella 8th.
Another historic race concludes here at Monaco. It's always a very special occasion, and this year has been no exception. Drama at its highest. Street racing at its most challenging. It's an incredible place, and it's always a pleasure to be here on Grand Prix weekend. 2 weeks from now, and much earlier than in recent years, we'll do it all again at the home of the British Grand Prix, Silverstone. Silverstone could almost be considered the home GP of no less than 6 teams. McLaren, Renault, Williams, Honda, Red Bull and Midland F1 are all based in the UK, and you can be assured of a very special weekend of racing. We'll see you there in June. Thanks for joining us, take care and goodbye.
Well, there we go then. Mark Webber showcasing his Monaco prowess somehow to claim the victory this afternoon, and Nick Heidfeld showcasing his prowess about how to not win a Formula 1 Grand Prix. Both Williams end up on the podium. I mean, there were so many cars out on lap 1 that we didn't even end up finishing that badly down the order. Schumacher now an 18-point lead up at the top of the table ahead of Felipe Massa as Giancarlo Fisichella gets a point on the board. We get jumped by Webber and Heidfeld in the World Championship, and now Rosberg is not too far behind me either, as Christian Klein now ahead of Ralf Schumacher and David Coulthard. Sato up to 16th on Kankback. Constructors-wise, Toyota go from 5th to 7th. After Williams Cosworth and BMW Sauber get huge points on the board as well. Once again, it has been a disastrous weekend for us, but I'm hoping at our home Grand Prix at Silverstone we can finally do a bit better.